Hello, good morning, and welcome to another episode of Tom's Kitchen. This morning I'm going to share with you my recipe version of a Spanish paella, obviously not made with rice, but with cauliflowered rice. So it's very delicious, very yummy, and obviously it is a meal that you can share with others, because that's what the paella is all about, to be able to share with others. So without further ado, let's go.
The paella is a Spanish rice dish originally from Valencia. Paella is one of the best known dishes in the Spanish cuisine, and for this reason many non-Spaniards view it as Spain's national dish. In my version of the paella, I'm going to replace the regular rice with Riced Cauliflower to make it a little bit more low carb. You can make the paella in a large deep skillet. I like to use the traditional Paellera. The Paellera is a Spanish paella pan. It is typically made out of carbon steel. Carbon steel is the most traditional and the best cooking surface for the paellas. This material has a manageable weight and heats up quickly and evenly. There are two key ingredients that are going to help out bring the flavors of your paella. One is pimentón de la vera, which is a traditional Spanish smoked paprika. The other one is a very good bone broth. I like to use the butcher's bone broth. The ingredients for this recipe are for about 6 servings. Since this recipe is my low-carb version of my Paella Valenciana, I will be replacing the regular rice with riced cauliflower. Here are the ingredients of my paella. 1 bag of riced cauliflower, 2 fluid ounces of chicken broth, 2 fluid ounces of mussel broth, 2 ounces of steamed mussels, 4 ounces of diced chicken, 4 ounces of raw peeled large shrimps, 4 ounces of calamari, 4 ounces of scallops, 1/3 of a cup of chopped parsley, 1 small white or sweet onion, 3 large cloves of garlic, 1/4 red bell pepper, 1/4 green bell pepper, 1 teaspoon of saffron, 1 lime, Spanish smoked paprika, and salt and pepper to taste. The best way to cook the paella is to make sure that you have all the ingredients prepped ahead of time before you start assembling and cooking the dish. One of the things that I like to do, which also saves a lot of time, is to create the mussel broth the day before. I use a bag of fresh mussels and place them in a pot with ice water and a teaspoon of cornstarch. I let the mussels sit in the water for about 30 minutes so they open and release any sand they have inside. After the 30 minutes are up, drain the water and rinse the mussels well. Place the pot with the mussels on the stove over high heat and cover it. Let the mussels steam for about 10 to 15 minutes until they are all open. Remove from the heat, uncover, and let cool off. Then make sure to remove and discard any unopened mussels. Save about 5 or 7 large of these mussels to be used to decorate the paella. Then remove the shell of the remaining mussels and save them. Strain the broth with a fine strainer and save. As I previously mentioned, it is best practice to prep and portion all of the ingredients. Start with the calamaris, the shrimp, the scallops, the mussel. Take the chicken and cut it into small pieces. Dice the onion and chop the garlic and mix them together. Dice the tomato. Chop the parsley, cut the bell peppers into long strips, quarter the lime, and then measure the 2 fluid ounces of mussel broth and the 2 fluid ounces of chicken broth. Now that everything is measured and cut, we're ready to cook the paella. Start by combining the chicken broth and mussel broth. Microwave it for about 2 minutes and then sprinkle the saffron on the top of the broth and stir very well. Next, heat the olive oil in the paellera or the deep skillet. Sauté the chicken until cooked and then remove it and set aside. Next, sauté the calamaris for about 2 minutes and then remove them and also set them aside. Now it's time to sauté the onions and garlic until the onions are translucent. Mix in the chopped parsley and reduce the heat to medium. Add the tomatoes and mix and cook the base for about 3 to 5 minutes. If you have a nice base, go ahead and add the chicken and calamaris back into the pan and mix well. Now go ahead and add the scallops and the mussels and mix them and let it simmer for about 2 minutes. Now it's time to add the riced cauliflower. Add it and make sure you give it a good stir so everything mixes very well. Now it's time to add the broth and the saffron. Make sure you mix it very well and you let it simmer. While it's simmering, go ahead and sprinkle the smoked Spanish paprika and also add salt and pepper to taste. Make sure to mix everything well. Take the shrimps, the shelled mussels, and the bell pepper strips and lay them out on top of the paella in any pattern that you prefer. We're almost done. Now go ahead and squeeze and distribute the lime juice evenly all over the entire paella. Then let it simmer until the shrimps are cooked and the broth is fully reduced. Once the liquid is evaporated, go ahead and remove the paella from the heat and garnish with a little bit of chopped parsley. That's it, the paella is done. Now serve and enjoy. It may seem a long time to prepare the paella, but I tell you, the wait and the time, it's worth it.
So what do you think? I love the paella. The best part are the leftovers, because if you let it sit from one day to the other, those flavors really combine and kind of make that they're so delicious afterwards. Like I mentioned, it is a dish to share with others. And if you want to find some of those ingredients like the smoked Spanish paprika or even you can go ahead and look for online. There are several online stores that carry them. That's it for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Give that paella a try, and until the next time, take care. Bye-bye.